Alrighty, hello everybody. I hope everybody's having a good week thus far. We've of course reached Hump Day this week, so Wednesday, the middle of the week here. So as usual, we're gonna wait a few minutes, give people a chance to you know come in, say hi, come in, see if you will be joining us. Hope everybody's doing well. Gummy bears bouncing here and there and everywhere. Find adventure that's beyond compare. They are the gummy bears. They are the gummy bears. Spider-Man, Spider-Man, does whatever a spider can. Spins a web any size, can't you see? Just like flies, look out. There goes a Spider-Man. Is he strong? Listen up. He's got radioactive blood from us. Take a look. Go ahead. Hey there goes the Spider-Man. In the chill of night, at the scene of a crime, like a streak of light, he arrives just in time. Spider-Man, Spider-Man, does whatever a spider can. Spins a web any size, can't you see? Just like flies, look out. There goes a Spider-Man. There goes a Spider-Man. Hmm. Anyways. Let me see now. What else can we? When Captain America throws his mighty shield, all those who oppose his shield must yield. In the red and the white and the blue it comes true when Captain America throws his mighty shield. Tony Stark makes you feel he's a cool exec with the hottest wheels. As Iron Man, all jets aflame, he fights and fights with repulsor rays. Amazing power, it's Iron Man. Amazing power, it's Iron Man. Doc Bruce Banner, belted by gamma rays, turned into the Hulk. Ain't he just gallantly wrecking the town with the powerful? Ain't so monster who isn't lovable. The ever loving Hulk. Hulk, Hulk. Let's see. Cross the rainbow bridge of Asgard, where the blooming heavens roar, and behold incredulous wonder the god of thunder, mighty Thor. Stronger than a whale, he can swim anywhere, he can breathe underwater, go flying through the air, noble submariner, prince of the deep, so beware of deadly demons. Lord Namor of Atlantis is the prince of the deep. On Moon Mesa, where the cowboys roam, everyone wanna know by the code of the West. Hey, how you doing? Look like we have a second person in here. Hello. You can and thank you for the like and the share. I do appreciate that. Let's see now. Huh. Yeah, so we're just waiting for everybody to come in here. On the Mesa, where the cowboys roam, everyone wanna be by the code of the West. All right, as I said, we're just waiting for some more people to come in. I hope you're having a good day, whoever is with me here. And of course, when we do get into the articles, feel free to comment if there's anything that strikes your interest or anything you want to comment on. Yeah, so we'll probably be getting into what's on tap for tonight in a little under 2 minutes here. We'll probably when we hit the 8 minute mark, we'll probably mention what's on tap for tonight. Is so we got a few stories to go over tonight. Anyways, excuse me a moment. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. So now let's see. Yeah, we're just past the 7 minute mark. Let's see. What else can we? Yeah, I was just over on Hero Shack Press saying hi to him before I came on here. Oh, we got 3 people now. Okay, well, with 3 people, we might be able to start now a little sooner. And thank you for the like and share. I do appreciate that. All right, so now with 3 people here, I'm going to go ahead and just get right into talking about what's on tap for tonight. So we have basically we'll probably have something like six, maybe something like eight stories to go over. We got at the action note, we'll have 9 stories to go over, 7 articles, and a couple of little things on pro wrestling at the end there. So on the so on the so we have I think we got 4 anime stories we'll go over. Um so actually probably will be more like 8 then. Let me just double check something here. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. And then 4. Okay, yeah, we have 4. Actually, 4. So 4 to 6. 2 is so yeah. We got 8 stories to go over. Gonna do 4 anime related stories, then 2. Actually, no, we do have 5 because we have one on bounding in the comics as well. So we got 5 to 7, and then 7, and then a couple wrestling. So we'll have 4 stories that will go 4 articles we'll go over on from CBR. The three articles will go over on bounding in the comics. One of the, all the 4 on CBR are all anime related. Then have 1 anime and 2 comic related articles to go over, and then some little wrestling news from WWE and AEW after that. So that's pretty much what's on tap for tonight. As we now will get into the articles here. With that, soon as I can get myself a little more organized here. All right, so here we go with the first article. Those who might have wanted to know how they could watch Shin-Chan, which is a popular anime comedy over over in Japan, and of course it's been shown here. What did have a bit of a run on Adult Swim a few years ago. So, how to get started with Crayon Shinchan. Crayon Shinchan is a staple of childish potty humor in Japan and has found an audience in the United States. Here's a guide to get started. Our article by Dallas Marshall, published 12 hours ago. There you go with the Crayon Shinchan is one of Japan's most famous comedy series, and thanks to outlets such as Adult Swim, the series has found a fan base in America as well. To say that Crayon Shinchan is popular would be an understatement. The series has gone on to have over 1,000 episodes. Basically, in some respects, I would almost argue that Crayon Shinchan, it's probably you could almost argue in terms of style and humor and all that. It's almost the Japanese equivalent to The Simpsons. Okay, Crayon Shinchan, you could argue is the Japanese equivalent to The Simpsons. Several video games and over 26 feature-length films over the years. The anime has also been dubbed in 30 different languages, so it seems that the world couldn't get enough of the anime. There's another pick right there. The plot of Crayon Shinchan. Okay, if anybody else has popped in yet, say hi. No. Had a couple people here a few minutes ago. I guess they might be laying down if they are still here. All right, so following the misadventures of Shinosuke Shin Nohara, the series focuses on the daily life of this rambunctious and naughty boy. As he gets in trouble, Shin-Chan, of course, in the Funimation dub, he's voiced by Laura Bailey. And then his parents, Hiro and Mitzi, are voiced by Chuck Huber and and Cynthia Krantz. So let's see. As he gets in trouble here and there with his friends, Shin is known to be blunt, ask inappropriate questions, and do whatever he wants, much to the chagrin of his authority figures. And of course, he likes singing the man dance or the man song with his dad. That's another thing that's a big hit. He is a handful for all of the adults in his life, and his friends, um, and his friends, and has provided countless hours of humorous entertainment for all of his fans. But for such a massive series, where does one begin? Here is a guide for the uninitiated, and pretty soon you too will be joining Shin on his mischievous adventures. Where to read the Crayon Shinchan manga. Running from 1990 to 2010, Crayon Shinchan was penned by the late Yoshito Usui and have over 50 volumes of reading material. That's a lot of big books there. So what was the guy's name again? Yoshito Usui. I just want to check something here real quick. So they said the late, so that means he passed away at some point. Let me see. 1990 to 2010. 2010. 2010. 2010. 2010. 2010. 2010. 2010. 2010. 2010. 2010. 2010. 2010. 2010. 2010. 2010. 2010. 2010. 2010. 2010. 2010. 2010. 2010. 2010. 2010. 2010. 2010. 2010. 2010. 2010. 2010. 2010. 2010. 2010. 2010. 2010. 2010. 2010. 2010. 2010. 2010. 2010. 2010. 2010. 2010. 2010. 2010. 2010. 2010. 2010. 2010. 2010. 2010. 2010. 2010. 2010. 2010. 2010. 2010. 2010. 2010. 2010. 2010. 2010. 2010. 2010. 2010. 2010. 2010. 2010. 2010. 2010. 2010. 2010. 2010. 2010. 2010. 2010. 2010. 2010. 2010. 2010. 2010. 2010. 2010. 2010. 2010. 2010. 2010. 2010. 2010. 2010. 2010. 20 1958 to 2000. So he passed away in 2009, just before the manga came to its end. Like here, he was like 51 when he passed away. So my guess is he probably got sick somehow. Cause of death. Oh, mountain climbing accident. That's what happened. All right. But 51, that's still pretty young. Anyways, hello. Welcome back. Anyways, continuing with the article here. Unfortunately, collecting all 50 books will not be easy, let alone English versions of the manga. For anyone who can read Japanese, finding all 50 volumes is a snap by utilizing such places as eBay or Amazon. As for the English version, only 10 volumes of Shin-Chan have been released by a publishing company called Comics One. Finding these copies will be a hunt, but places like Amazon and thrift books carry all 10 volumes. Also, expect to pay anywhere from $11 to $24 for each used copy, since there has been no English re-release of Crayon Shinchan as of yet. So yeah, so since they're hoarding it, it would appear, keeping the value of it up. Where to watch the Crayon Shinchan anime? Many remember watching the English dub version of Crayon Shinchan on Cartoon Network's Adult Swim lineup for fans in the West. The Cartoon Network one, of course, that was now Shin-Chan in various forms. It's been dubbed something like 4 times. Okay, probably the longest running dub is the Funimation dub. The other 3 dubs didn't dub as many episodes. Okay, Funimation actually was the one company that dubbed something like, I think, 50 plus episodes, whereas the others only dubbed, I think, like 10 to 12 or something like that. Including Fuzz Entertainment, um, Red Angel Media, I believe, was another. Red Angel Media one was, I think, that was the Southeast Asian English dubbing crew that did that dub. And then there was Vitello as well. Vitello and Fuzz are both had the LA based voice, but in those 3 cases, they didn't dub as many episodes as they did for I'm guessing for as they did for the Funimation dub. Sadly, those days have passed, and it is hard to find any streaming services which play the anime. Initially, the first 3 seasons of Crayon Shinchan were available on Amazon Prime, but it has been removed from the streaming service as of the writing of this. So, where can fans watch this anime, let alone any of the feature films? Used box sets of the first 3 seasons of Crayon Shinchan can be purchased on websites such as eBay and Amazon, but they do not come at a low price. Fans will have to spend anywhere from $50 to a whopping $200 for each season. Why so expensive? There are limit. There are the limited. These are the limited run Funimation dub copies that have been out of print for a long time. While on the pricier side to enjoy the series, fans of the series might find the childish and outlandish antics of Shin Nohara worth the effort. Crayon Shinchan is the kind of series that allows fans to enjoy a simpler time where fart jokes, slapstick humor, and childish adventures were the top priority of every kid. After all, considering how hectic the adult world can be, sometimes we all need to get in touch with our childish side. As I mentioned earlier too. Crayon Shinchan, or known simply as Shin-Chan, here in the states, is basically it's a Japanese equivalent of The Simpsons. That's what it comes down to. It's a pretty funny series, um, with some of the potty rhetoric and all that, but it's pretty much Japanese equivalent of The Simpsons. So, so there's that one. So as we prepare to move on to the next article. All right, so the next article here, Sentai reveals first trailer. Casting details for Food Wars Season 5. First trailer and casting details for Food Wars Season 5. So they have, on Adult Swim, they have broadcast the first 4 seasons. Now I guess they're getting ready to do the 5th season. Sentai Filmworks drops an exclusive clip of the English dub, the 5th and final season of Food Wars, along with the English voice cast list. Probably shouldn't change that much, I don't believe. Sentai Filmworks released an all-new clip from the upcoming English dub of Food Wars: The Fifth Plate. The new footage provides fans with an exclusive look into the English dub of first episode of the final arc of Food Wars. The clip features Soma Yukihira, who in the English is voiced by Blake Shepard, or had been up to this point. I assume he's probably continuing, and friends as they begin their final exams for the first semester the first semester of their second year at the elite Totsuki Sairio Culinary Institute. The school's newest instructor, Suzuki, is introduced as the overseer of the exams. But while the rest of his classmates fawn over him, Soma has the distinct feeling that he has met him before. Either way, Soma has his work cut out for him, as he and his friends must renovate an abandoned beach restaurant to make at least 3 million yen in sales in just 3 days. Man, that's quite a task. I guess here's the part of the trailer as well. Sentai Filmworks also dropped a cast list for the English dub of the 5th and final season on its website. Fans of the dub will be able to enjoy the latest arc with the return of many of their favorite voice actors, such as Blake Shepard, who voices Yuki from Darling in the Franxx, among other things. Blake Shepard, of course, is a long-time Houston-based dub voice actor. He's been with Sentai even before, with their predecessor ADV, as Soma. Stephanie Whittles from Tanaka-kun is always listless as the divine tongue Erina Nakari, and Jade Saxton, who has done work for both Sentai and as well as Funimation as well, from Kaguya-sama Love is War as Megumi Tadakoro, Soma's best friend. The English dub of Season 5 is directed by Kyle Colby Jones of Akame ga Kill and Parasite the Maxim fame. Let's see. Yudo Sakuta's and Shun Saeki's Food Wars is a Japanese manga series following Soma Yukihiro, a teenage boy who dreams to work as a full-time chef in his father's restaurant Yukihara. His aspirations are put on hold, however, when his father closes the restaurant to travel around the world for his new job, Soma secures a place at the prestigious culinary academy, Totsuki Sairyo Culinary Institute, where students take part in food competitions called shogeki. There, Soma makes friends and rivals alike as he challenges students of the elite academy and other aspiring chefs to shogoki competitions in order to become the best of the best, which is always the aim, to be the best chef cook that you can be. So, hello, we got 3 people in here now. That's good. I hope you guys are enjoying the content, and I appreciate the likes and shares. If you haven't already, if you can like and share and see if we can get some more people here, that would be appreciated. Anyways, getting back to this article, an anime adaptation of Food Wars was announced in October 2014, and it ran for a total of 86 episodes that spanned 5 seasons. So 86 over 5 seasons, that's just an average of just over 17 a season. Um, the Japanese language version of Food Wars, the fifth plate, aired between April 11th and September 26, 2020. But unlike its preceding seasons, it received a generally mixed response from audiences due to what some fans deem a weak ending to the series and the less than compelling storyline of the last arc. All 5 seasons of Food Wars are available to stream now on Crunchyroll. And I do kind of wonder if they'll, of course, show they will if they will in fact show the last season of it at some point here in the near future. So on Toonami. So I was thinking. Right. So there we go with that one. And of course, guys, if you have any, do have anything you'd like to add to the conversation here, in terms of what we're talking about here with these articles, feel free to chime in. Feel free to, or if you have a question, I'll see if I can answer it. Um, so yeah, we're coming up on a half hour here. So, anyways, getting ready to move on to the next article here. Let's see. These underrated isekai anime were around 10 plus years before Sword Art Online. So isekai anime are kind of those it's a type of fantasy anime where the protagonist gets transported to another world. You know, of course, some of the current ones that are out there right now include That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime. That's the only one I can. Let's see. Oh, Restaurant to Another World, I believe, is another one. So, anyways, let's look at this. While many anime fans already know about titles like Escaflowne, Digimon Adventure, and Inuyasha, far fewer people have watched these old isekai animations, and those are as isekai. Of course, people know Escaflowne and Inuyasha from Adult Swim, and then Digimon Adventure was on Fox Kids. So Sword Art Online right now is probably another one of and then there's also Log Horizon as well, been out recently too. So, anyways, let's read more of this article. The sheer popularity and subsequent cultural impact of Sword Art Online may well have changed the face of the isekai genre for good. However, as many fans know, isekai as a concept, has existed not just in itself, but also in anime, specifically long before the release of the first Sword Art Online show in July 2012, which is true. There have been a few of them, and we've already talked about, the 3 major ones, and then you do have some pictures here, and some of these you guys might actually know. Another one that was, and I think one of the ones they alluded to here in the picture here was another one that was on Toonami Adult Swim. In fact, it's what kind of got me starting watching anime back in the early 2000s and has had me as a fan ever since. But anyways, let's see. So, although the very first isekai anime have been around since at least the 1980s with the likes of Aura, Battler Dunbine, and I've seen that one. That one's pretty good too. And Magic God Hero Legend Wataru, even if the word isekai was not in common use at the time. Um, there have been plenty. Yeah, usually back then these particular were just cited as being fantasy anime. Be taken to another world where you could a lot of it's sword and sorcery, some of it mecha, intermixed in there. Um, there have been plenty of other isekai anime released prior to um, Sword Art Online. Many of them now vastly underrated or largely forgotten, while the majority of the viewers already know about titles such as Escaflowne, which came out in 1996, Digimon Adventure came out in 1999, Inuyasha, which came out in 2000. Far fewer people have seen the following shows. The 12 Kingdoms fuses isekai with literary epic fantasy. I've seen this one. This one's a nice one to throw on in the afternoons. Got a nice look when you're looking at it. When you're watching it against like an afternoon. Like you know, if you ever do like I do and sit there and like plan out your viewing, decide okay, I'm gonna watch this stuff at around this particular time. This is a particular anime. This is one that looks good against against kind of that afternoon after school backdrop. That from the 3 to 5 in the afternoon range. Okay, so this is the 12 Kingdoms here. Misfit high school student Nakajima Yoko has always been self conscious of her bright red hair, which has constantly prevented her having a normal life among her peers. As I understand it, red hair, especially if it's naturally red hair, is actually something that kind of does make you stand out in Japan. Um, so, um, when her school is suddenly attacked by a monstrous bird, a mysterious man named Keiki bows before her, swearing to protect her. With no choice but to accept, Yoko is given a sword and transported to another world, with two of her classmates inadvertently swept along for the ride. However, they find themselves alone in a magical land that resembles classical China and whose people treat earthlings as people to be hunted. Released in 2002 and based on a series of Japanese literary novels, The 12 Kingdoms, Kokuki, is classic high fantasy. Involves not just stereotypical swords and sorcery, but also complex games of politics and a story steeped in tradition and lore. True, that's all true. Um, the show's intricate setting is complemented by its large and pleasantly diverse cast, all of whom undergo major character um, development over the course of the anime's 45 episodes. Dot Hack Shine is a deconstruction of the MMO based isekai, the multimedia online based Dot Hack Sign was the anime that brought me into this niche. Now, granted, like a lot of people, I've seen shows prior to this that were anime, but of course, I at the time I was watching them did not know they were anime. Most notably, of course, Science Chinchin Gatchaman, which we knew here in the States as Battle of the Planets. Um, Beast Go Lion, and Dairoger 15, which were kind of combined together to form Voltron. You know, of course, I've seen syndicated episodes. As a kid, I saw syndicated episodes of like the '60s Speed Racer cartoon as well, and here and there would see episodes of like Astro Boy. Of course, again, as a kid watching this stuff, I didn't necessarily know that it was anime at the time. Of course, I didn't care. It was a fun card. These were fun cartoons to watch. So this though Dot Hack Sign is the anime that kind of got my attention, got me, okay, oh, so this is anime. Let's take a look at this and see how this is cool. This is kind of the thing that kind of brought me into anime, and then of course, I eventually also got into Yu Yu Hakusho, as I've told many of you too, based on its continuing trailer that would show on Cartoon Network as well. So this is really the one that kind of got my attention. Set in a fictional 2009, the introverted Tsukasa is a wave master or magic user in an MMORPG. Now, for those of you who may not know what that is, that stands for Multimedia Online Role Playing Game, named The World. And of course, Dot Hack Sign is based on the franchise, the Dot Hack series, which also has a bunch of video games associated with it, and it's one of those mega franchises. However, he has no idea who he is or how he got there, as he is suffering from amnesia and worse still, is unable to log out from the game. The Crimson Knights, a player organization created to fight injustice, believe him to be a hacker, but its leader, Subaru, and several other game players make it their mission to solve the mystery and help Tsubasa get back to the real world. The 26 episode anime original series released in 2002, Dot Hack Sign, could almost be called the antithesis of more contemporary isekai anime like Sword Art Online, despite being the closest to them in terms of root premise. The show is very deliberately paced and concerned more with dialogue driven conflict than flashy actions, which is true. It's, you know, Dot Hack Shine is one of those that you can really get lost. You could lose yourself in, for that matter, the Dot Hack series altogether is something you could really lose yourself in. Um, you know, um, it just has that feel to it. You'd be sitting there on a cool night one night around midnight, be watching it, and just, it's like you really can get yourself locked into it a bit, mentally and emotionally. So let's see. Okay, so let's see where we at here. Incorporating themes of social isolation and anxiety, as well as both conscious and subconscious escapism, Dot Hack Sign is quietly profound rather than showy or dramatic, a fact that doesn't prevent its soundtrack from being hands on, hands down, one of the best in the history of anime to date. Which is true because you have the great Yoko Kanno, who I believe worked on this, and on throughout a number of the Dot Hack series, soundtracks always sound great. You got everybody from Seesaw to Fiction Junction involved. Um, yeah. So, anyways, and again, feel free to comment on any of this stuff as we're reading through it as well. And I do thank you guys for more of the likes and shares. Um, um, all right, so we now continue on. Now and then, here and there is isekai at its darkest. Atsutani Shuzo is a fairly normal boy and a practitioner of kendo. Kendo is a form of swordplay, basically, or swordsmanship, who, when walking home from school one day, chances upon a girl being attacked by a group of people piloting dragon like mechas. Instinctively, acting in her defense, Shu is abruptly transported to a post apocalyptic world where water is extremely scarce, and the girl, Lala Ru, is hunted for her ability to access it via her magical pendant. And I do know that I do believe, let's see, believe it, do know it was the New York based voice actors who were the ones who dubbed this. I don't know if it was Central Park Media or another company, but it was a Central Park Media who voiced this. So let's see. Now trapped in this wasteland, Shu must confront a potential future Earth. Oh, by the way, the Dot Hack sign dub was done um, by the LA based voice crew. And let me see. And I believe one of the main female protagonists for Dot Hack Sign was actually our favorite Looney Tunes, Mandawin Lee. So, um, yeah. So, anyways, um, let's see. Shu must confront the potential future Earth that involves mass famine, slavery, and child exploitation. Now and then, here and there, Ima Soko ni Iruboku is a 13 episode anime original that first aired in 1999. While it features the base premise of an isekai, it's primarily a dark science fantasy, mired in dystopian tragedy, and which revolves heavily around such grim topics as rape and the forced conscription of child soldiers. However, the series never forgets its human center. It depicts such grisly material not for the sake of sensationalist shock value, but because they are integral to the story's heartfelt messages and themes, which is true. Yeah, so 12 Kingdoms was dubbed by the LA based voice actors. As I said, Dot Hack Sign also was here now and then, here and there was dubbed by dubbed in New York. So now we're going on to another one that is this one's actually very similar to 12 Kings. Fushigi Yugi blends isekai with high drama, and this one was done by Studio Pero over in Japan. So this one was done by the same company that did like Yu Yu Hakusho, Bleach, Naruto. So you know this one's a good one. You should know if you believe those are good ones. You know this one's a good one as well. Middle school students and best friends Miyaka Yuki and Yui Hongo are at the library one day when they stumble across a mysterious book titled "The Universe of the Four Gods." When it sucks both girls inside, transporting them to an ancient Chinese world, they are soon separated from one another, each of them destined to become priestesses of opposing kingdoms and, for various other reasons, also mortal enemies. Wow. Two best friends who basically are turned into mortal enemies. You guys are saying anything yet? Yeah, I guess not. You guys are. Hope you're enjoying the content. Um, as much a romance piece as it is a fantastical isekai, Fushigi Yugi, Mysterious Play, is what the likes of Sword Art Online might have been if it were driven by a shoujo story and amped its melodrama up to 11. Premiering in 1995, it aired for 52 episodes and is everything that Dot Hack Sign is not. His, histrionic, theatrical, and exaggeratedly emotional. So whereas Dot Hack Shine is very quiet in its style, this one's a lot louder. Is basically what they're saying. Um, Problematic while it may be in some areas, it's also highly addictive. The perfect popcorn show for those who happen to like their anime with a dose of historical fantasy drama and reverse harem esque hijinks. Magic Knight Rayearth is isekai combined with magical girl sensibilities, which is true. I've seen that one too. That one was also um, dubbed in LA. I know Wendy Lee was a part of that show. Wendy Lee, Julie Madalena, those two were both involved in there. And also, the third one. I can't even think of Julie Madalena. Was the girl who did the English voice for the pink haired girl there, Hikaru. Um, Yui was voiced by Wendy Lee, and then Boo, the kind of blonde, brown haired girl right there in green. I'm just blanking on who it. Oh, well, I know one of the names she uses. It's not her most well known name, but one of the names she uses is Ellen Wilkinson. So Hikaru Shido, Umi Ryuzaki, and Fu Hojo. Um, oh, Hoji. Are all vastly different eighth grade girls attending separate schools. While on field trips to visit, hence their school uniforms being completely different colors: pink, green, blue. While on field trips to visit Tokyo Tower, they are suddenly drawn into the world of Sephiroth, which they must save by rescuing its princess, Emerald, while before being returned to Tokyo. Guided on their journey by the rabbit-like creature Mokana. Mokana, now, okay, so this is a Clamp series. So Mokana is a creature you'll find in a number of Clamp stories, including not just this one, but also Tsubasa Reservoir Chronicles. Um, let's see, another one I know that it's involved in as well. Holic. So, Moken. The girls realize they possess element-based magic and eventually awaken the three rune gods, beings that can take on the form of pilotable giant robots. So imagine that. You can summon a giant godlike robot to do your battles for you. And all you have to do is pilot it. That sounds fun. Airing for 20 episodes from 1994 to 1995, Magic Knight Rayearth, Maho Kishi Rayearth, is a magical girl like mecha themed isekai created by the all female manga artist group Clamp of Card Captor Sakura. That's another well known series from them, and Chobits fame. Viewers can expect a lot of everything here, from comedy and drama to romance and fantastical action adventure, like the love child of Sailor Moon and Escaflowne. Okay, that's kind of an interesting description there. The love child of Sailor Moon and Escaflowne. Yeah, Van and Serena getting together. That'd be an interesting child. uh, Magic Knight Rayearth is an extremely eclectic ride, um, but an unabashedly fun one. So there we go with that one. See where we're at on time now, and see how you guys are doing here. So we're at 52 minutes, so I might need to speed things up a tad. Alrighty then. So I think we've got the 3 already, right? Yep, 3. Right, so we're almost halfway. We're almost about halfway there. We had 3 here, and then we have 1 more here, and then we'll go over to bounding in the comments. Okay, so this is the last one. That last article we're going to read here from CBR. Gundam Kukuru's Done's Island reveals new trailer and art. Now, this is a movie that they decided to release that was based on an episode of the original Mobile Suit Gundam series. That it was actually the original creator who pulled the issue back for some reason. Nobody knows why, but they had since, of course, turned it into a movie here. So let's go with this. Bandai releases new posters and art for the Mobile Suit Gundam franchise's next movie, Kukuru's Done's Island. Article by Michael Lacerna, published 5 hours ago. There's a Gundam right there. Don't think you want to see that in a dark alley anytime soon. Bandai released a new trailer and a slew of new art from the upcoming Mobile Suit Gundam Kukuru's Done's Island movie. The new trailer offers a look at the new CG animated renditions of RK-78-2 and various other one-year war era mobile suits in action. In addition to the trailer, Bandai also revealed 2 new posters for the movie, which highlight the battle between Amuro's Gundam and Kukuru's Done's MS-06F Zaku 2 and the crew of the White Base. The company also released new line art of the movie's Gundam design, as well as Done's battle-damaged mobile suit. There's the group right there. Classic 70s animation right there. 70s drawing style right there. The first Mobile Suit Gundam series came out back in 1979. Anyways, voice actor Shunsuke Takuchi of Mob Psycho 100 Tokyo Revengers was announced to be part of the movie's cast. Takuchi will be the new voice of Kukuru's Don, the Zeon deserter whom the titular island is named after. The movie will also feature the talents of voice actor Toru Furuya, um, who has provided the voice of Amuro Ray since the franchise's 1979 debut. Ken Narita will also return to voice Bright Noah. Narita took over the role of the Slap Happy Federation officer in 2010's Mobile Suit Gundam Unicorn after Bright's original voice actor, Hirotaka Suzuoki, passed away in 2006 from lung cancer. The movie will be one of the first original works to come out of the newly restructured studio formerly known as Sunrise. It was announced earlier this year that Gundam's primary animation company, which also produced hits such as Cowboy Bebop and Code Geass, was being merged with parent company Bandai Namco's other anime-focused divisions to create a new studio, Bandai Namco Filmworks. The movie is a feature-length remake of episode 15 of the original Mobile Suit Gundam anime, which sees Amuro Ray and the crew of the White Base traveling to a supposedly deserted island in order to hunt down some Zeon stragglers following the Battle of Jaburo. After arriving, Amuro is separated from his Gundam and discovers that the island has become the new home of a group of war orphans and a former soldier who has vowed to protect them, Kukuru's Dome. Kukuru's Dome's Island is just one of several new releases in the Gundam franchise planned for 2022. The acclaimed 2017 anime series, Mobile Suit Gundam Iron Blood Orphans, will be rebroadcast in Japan this April with a special edition cut that will feature new animation. And I just finished watching Iron Blood Orphans. It's a pretty good series, earlier today. It's a pretty good series, just kind of a sad ending when you got three of the main protagonists who all end up dying at the end. But, anyways, um, sorry, I probably said more than I should have with that. Anyways, feature new animation. Additionally, an entire original Gundam series subtitled The Witch from Mercury is also planned to make its premiere sometime before the end of the year. So there we go with that one. Hey, Maymay. Glad to see you're here. As always, if you can help me out by liking, sharing the stream, that'd be appreciated. We do have one more anime story to go to, then a couple comic stories, and then all that will be over on Bounding into Comics. I'm here, came late, but see you going through. All right. And of course, if you have anything to say on the topics we're talking about, feel free to chime in and feel free to chime in if you have anything you'd like to add to the conversation, as it were. Um, Wait, now let's get to the other stories. What did I just see there? Okay. Right. So here's the next art. Here's the last anime article we're gonna look at here. This one from, of course, Mounting into Comics. Right. Spy Family. Anime adaptation gets official release date. New key visual article by Spencer McCooley, published earlier today. And Spy Family has been kind of one that's been talked about quite a bit recently. It seems like it's a pretty interesting anime. So here we go. The anime adaptation of Tatsuya Endo's popular spy comedy shonen series, Spy Family, has received a new key visual to celebrate the reveal of its official release date. All right, excuse me a moment. I think I got to go get my. I got to go take care of Chloe, I believe. I'll be right back. Excuse me one more time. Sorry. All right, sorry about that. I had to go tend to my dog. You know how that can be sometimes, especially when you're the only one home. Anyways, back to the article there in a moment. So now getting um, back to the article here. As soon as I put the judgments here, let's see. All right, so moving on from this, official release date. Okay. Shared to the anime's official Twitter account on March 6th, which was, I believe, this past Sunday, the new key visual depicts series leads Twilight Thorn Princess and their adoptive daughter, Anya, walking down the street with their while their quote unquote true identities, or in Anya's case, her shock at her parents' respective professions, are reflected in the sidewalk beneath them. Alongside the release of the new key visual, the Spy Family production team announced that the series would officially air on quote on TV Tokyo and others from 23, 23, which would be translated as 11 o'clock at night on Saturday, April 9th. I believe that they use kind of a military style time too, in terms of instead of like 12 a.m., 12 p.m., they, 2300 out. Set in a Cold War esque period of counterintelligence warfare and intelligence hungry subterfuge, Spy Family follows a highly skilled spy who goes by the name of Twilight under the name of Lloyd Forger. He adopts a daughter and fakes a marriage with a local woman in order to further embed himself and give him a cover needed for his latest mission. It was interesting thus far, and I've actually heard a little bit about this. There's a little bit more of a twist here coming. However, unbeknownst to Twilight, both members of his fake family hold startling secrets. With his wife, Yor, actually being the alter ego of a notorious assassin known as the Thorn Princess, and his daughter, quote unquote, or in smaller quotes, possessing the ability to read the minds of those around her. Very interesting. Spy, a spy, his wife, and the assassin, and his daughter, a telepath. As previously announced, the series will be directed by Kazuhiro Furuhashi of Mobile Suit Gundam Unicorn, Rurouni Kenshin fame, and feature character designs by Kazuaki Shimada, Promised Neverland, as well as music from Japanese musical group No Name. No Name! The series' principal voice cast includes Takuya Eguchi from Green in Pokemon Origins, Don and Don Moriboshi in Netflix's Ultraman as Twilight, Saori Hayami Yamato in One Piece, and Atsumi Tamazaki Emporio Ainino in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 6, Stone Ocean as the young Anya. Are you excited to watch the Spy Family anime adaptation? Let us know your thoughts on social media or in the comments down below. It's pretty interesting. I can't wait to see it when it comes out dubbed, and if they put it on like Toonami, that'd be very interesting. Anyway, so we're done with all the anime stories now. So now let's see, where are we at on time here? We're 16, so I'd like a few more to go here. So let's see. Let's get into the comic book stories here. I have a couple of comic book stories to go through here. Start with this one. Former DC Comics artist Shane Davis says DC Comics days are numbered now that publisher is booted from Warner Media's office. Article by J.B. Augustine, March, and published earlier today. DC Comics is not welcome anymore at Warner Media's official headquarters in Burbank, California, where the publisher has had a presence for the last few years. DC's eviction is widely reported, and the company is moving to what's called a hot desk format, in which no one has their own space. Thus, their talent will share everything, desk space, supplies, if they don't end up fighting over it all. Well, that's what you get when you go woke and you don't sell books. Reports also noted a new facility is being built for Warner Media exclusives and staff, but they won't be moving there until 2023. Plus, there are no guarantees DC Comics will join them and wind up having a home there. Former DC Comics artist and writer Shane Davis and the creator of Inglorious Rex views this as a sign that the writing is on the wall for DC Comics. and that their characters will end up getting licensed to other companies to do the actual comic industry work. Davis is not the first person to foresee this. The prediction has been gaining ground ever since Ethan Van Sciver said the same thing a few years ago, while also betting DC would be sold entirely for scrap. Yes, and I know also Young Ripa has recently said that as well, and Yellow Flash. So it's been a scuttlebutt for quite a while now. Davis and his co-host Yanzi Lin also looked at the comic sales dominated by Marvel and Manga, which I know Yellow Flash has also been doing. The only exception benefiting DC was Batman, a character that is very popular and occupies copious shelf space nowadays. Yeah, Batman. The Batman books are, and Yellow Flash has been talking about this too. The Batman books have basically been the only books that have been selling. I'm going to probably be talking more about that in the next article too. The Batman books are like the only books that seem to be selling for DC right now, which will run the risk of them getting bat fatigue, as as um as Yellow Flash put it. Let's see. The trouble is that it can't last. When the bubble bursts, DC might not know what to do. As Davis observes, they haven't done enough to make readers care about other valuable properties like Superman, Wonder Woman. Yeah, in fact, they've been just driving so many woke points home that it's like you're seeing with DC the whole idea. You're seeing it come to fruition. The whole idea of get woke, go broke. Hmm. Recent stunts such as Trial of the Amazons making Nubia the first champion of Themyscira, retroactively sending Superman to prison to be tortured, teasing his death yet again, and writing his son as a bisexual climate activist hasn't drummed up interest. No, it's basically driving people away in droves, and we've been seeing it. Davis discussed how the retailers who go to him for advice and insight are being caught in the middle, not knowing how many books they ought to order, if any, staring at the uncertainty of DC's future right in the face and in real time. Sales are down, and Davis thinks part of the reason is the monthly release model is obsolete, and DC is hurting its brand by saturating the market to keep its promise to consumers. Uh, that's where I'd probably have to disagree. I think the only reason the monthly format may not be working is because you know you've gone kind of more with a more of a serial style storytelling as opposed to an episodic one. Episodic storytelling is better for monthly publication than serial storytelling. That's what I think, anyways. So it's future. So this is from Future State, Mortal Wonder Woman, Volume One, Number Two, Nubia. Words by L.L. McKinley, art by Althea Martinez, Mark Morales, and Emilio Lopez. Things might get worse for DC on the creative end, too, as there is an exodus of talent going on amidst the other bad news. Aside from Gabe Eltib quitting DC because of the reductive treatment of Superman, others have run to Substack to offer work and knowledge directly to their followers. Davis believes there are no brakes on the changes rampant at DC since culling, since the culling of Dan Didio and editorial staff, leading to more people jumping ship or being forced out in the coming months and years. Oh, this is from Superman the Animated Series. Case in point, Mike Cotton left the group editor gig on Superman. More instances like this are bound to come to pass, and as people move up the ladder and let those below them go to trim some fat. While there is considerable fat at DC, I like that. Considerable fat at DC. Yeah, like this big bloated cow that's about to explode, right? uh, Insiders have confessed there is not as much meat on the bones as there used to be. That begs the question of who then is left to get rid of. Well, they're basically saying they've got rid of a lot of people. They've got rid. There's very few people left to really. It's like you're walking around. The DC's walking around like a skeleton. Superman Red and Blue, Volume 1, Number 1, Untitled 2021. Words by John Ridley, art by Clayton Henry and Jordi Belair. Of course, John Ridley, the guy who thought it would be a good idea to show everybody Superman getting sodomized. Be sure to give us a comment with your answers. All right. So that's that one. All right. So we got one more article to read through, and then we'll take up a couple of wrestling news tidbits to finish things off. And here's it. And I know this is one that Yellow Flash has talked a lot about in recent memories. Stuff going on here. Tom Taylor and DC Comics' Gay Superman book completely falls off top 50 sales chart. Now, what they're talking about here is Superman Son of Kal-El, where Tom Taylor decided to push agenda and decide to make John Kent, Clark's son, bisexual. As they were mentioning in the last article we read, turning Superman from a near omnipotent superhero to a bisexual climate activist. Because that's really what we need. We need a man who can actually do something about climate change, as it were. All right. And I don't just mean bullying people into making better choices. He could actually sit there and clean up a lot of the earth or what have you. DC Comics and writer Tom Taylor's Gay Superman book, Superman Son of Kal-El, completely fell out of the top 50 sales charts for the month of February. Gets that Tim with the new Aquaman, I guess. Taylor has consistently attempted to defend his book sales, albeit without providing any numbers. But the reality of time continues to prove his assertions simply aren't true. And I know Yellow Flash on his videos, when he's talked about this, has actually shown from, I think the source is ICV squared or something like that. I don't know. The ICV squared, I think, is the name of the. But he's been showing the actual, charts, and they're not really good. Back in February, he attempted to defend the book's sales, but actually confused the book's placement on the sales chart in November to the issue of the book. As part of a lengthy thread on Twitter, Taylor wrote, quote, "Wait, issue number 6 didn't even appear in December sales. What?" Yeah, that was kind of see what ended up happening is I think uh, I think issue number 6 didn't even release in December. It was the annual that released in December. Issue 6 released in January. I know that's what Flash talked about too. And there's the infamous cover of Superman. I think this is in response to Yellow Flash's um, Yellow Flash's comments on it. The fifth issue of the book, where Superman gets a boyfriend, was in fact the sixth top-selling book on ICV2's. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Chart, as noted by ICV2, the charts are unit and dollar sales ranking based on sales track at point of sale by Comic Hub system at stores selling American comics around the world, unquote. So basically, it's what the register records as sales is what they're basically saying. Unit sales meaning the number of books sold, and then the sales number is the money attributed to those dollar sales. Taylor even bragged about the fact that it was in the top 10 as part of the thread, writing on Twitter, quote, now this was pretty confusing. I don't believe a story's worth is measured by its sales, but our Superman is selling pretty well. Issue number 5, where John Kent comes out as bisexual, made the top 10 comic sales for November. Now, as Flash pointed out, which was a good point, the reason that you got good sales on these books were because the speculators bought them, thinking they were going to be worth something, thinking they were really going to be like the novel. Oh my God, Superman's gay. You know, it's kind of like one of those things when it's like the first of something, right? Like the first time a major character comes out as gay. That's a milestone type of thing, okay? And that, if it does prove to be a worthwhile milestone, it can prove for collectors to be a pretty well spent book. But if the milestone is baloney, you know, if the milestone doesn't mean anything, then the value is not going to be that high. You know, speculators were thinking, "Oh, this is the first time Superman's coming out as gay. This book is gonna rise in value over the years. It's gonna be thousands of. It's gonna get to a point where it's gonna be like Action Comics #1." But no, it's not. It got a lot of big mainstream media push. Got a lot of promo. The numbers were up initially, but now the numbers have tanked because that novelty has worn off. Speculators bought up the books they need in the event that it does become super, a collector's item, which again probably will not be. However, getting back to Taylor's gaffe, the book's sixth issue didn't release until January, so it wouldn't be on the December sales chart, which is true, and that's something that caught everybody off a bit. The sixth issue didn't release in December because the annual is what released in December. The book's annual did release in December, and it did not show up in the top 50 when looking at total units. The annual did place 45th on the top 50 comic books by dollar sale. So the annual didn't place in the top 50 on unit sale, meaning number of books that were sold. Okay. It did place 45th on the dollar amount, meaning, the amount of money spent on the issues. When the book's sixth issue did come out in January, it was at the bottom of the charts, ranking 42nd. And on the 42nd on the unit chart. On the dollar chart, it was in 50th, dead last place. So basically, out of the top 50, it made the least amount of money out of the top 50 in terms of dollar sales. In terms of unit sales, it sold like the 42nd most books. Taylor, who previously bragged about his book placing in the top 10 of the ICV2 charts, went after the data aggregator, implying its data is no good or not to be trusted. Yeah, it's not to be trusted when it's not telling you what you want it to say. Yeah. Good luck trying to sell that one there, Tommy boy. He wrote on Twitter, the people oddly obsessed with our Superman sales are misrepresenting things using a chart from only 100 plus comic stores. Trying to deflect the fact that it's not working out. Gift gas, train surfing, Dr. Stone, manga over. Yeah, actually, hey, Jason, you kind of missed earlier. I was doing more of the anime stories earlier. Of course, for those of you who don't know, for those who've been following the Vic situation, Vic Mignogna, it was revealed yesterday that one of the guys who was piling up on him, one of the guys who was saying "listen and believe" and let's cancel Vic, one of the guys who joined that bandwagon, Damon Mills, he's now been accused of sexual misconduct. He's been accused of sexually abusing a 16-year-old boy. So for those of you who didn't know about that, that's a bit of news bit, and we went over that article yesterday. And if you haven't already, if you can like and share the stream, that would be appreciated. See if we can get some more friendly people in here. Anyways, as we continue on with this article. Actually, let me see where we're at on time here. 1:38. So, as I said, we're making some good time here. He wrote on Twitter. Okay, we already read that part. Quote: the same chart that reported my Dark Ages outsold King Spawn, the biggest selling comic of 2021. People reporting this don't have facts, only an agenda. A little self deflection there, maybe. As a reminder, Taylor is the one who could simply post sales numbers, but he refuses to do that. Um, Nevertheless, this data point seemingly indicated that Taylor and DC Comics' editorial decision to make Superman gay was a one and done gimmick, and that it might have actually driven away readers of the series. That's basically what it does seem to be what the evidence is pointing to. That assumption got another piece of evidence this month as Superman Son of Kal-El number 8 did not even show up in either of the top 50 charts. I know Yellow Flash was pointing this out too. Despite the book falling out of the top 50 completely, Taylor is still playing games claiming the series is selling well. He's either playing games or he's just outright delusional. He's outright delusional. He shared a screenshot from Amazon, which updates their sales charts every single hour, showing the book in the top spot for a category titled 45-minute comic and graphic novel short reads. As of writing, the book is not even first in that category. It's currently eighth. And this chart doesn't show you how many books are being sold either. So while it might be eighth, the total sales could be below 100. So basically, what they're saying is, yeah, a lot of people might be reading it, but not a lot of people are paying to read it. That's what it may be saying, or you know, or you may have people reading it multiple times. But of note, it's also Wednesday, and new DC comics come out on Tuesday. So the book is also more likely to have more recent sales given the way Amazon updates their charts. He then shared a screenshot from Comic Book Roundup showing critic and user reviews. He wrote, quote, and thanks to everyone reviewing, supporting, and spreading the word about John Kent and our Superman series. Means the world. Got a quick screen grab before the usual review bombers come into the user rating section. However, the book only has 8 critic reviews. So even critics aren't reading the book. So, yeah, okay, it's easy to have a huge number like that when there's not a whole lot of people reading it. And the book user score now sits at 77. It only has 25 reviews. This is another clear example that it's Taylor who has the agenda. Taylor continued to push his narrative that the book is selling well, writing, quote, with the strange misinformation being spread about Superman Son of Kal-El sales, this is especially nice to see today. Great to see number 9 up there with the Bat Classics consisting the Batman in cinemas, considering the Batman in cinemas. Thank you from our whole team. Dude is probably so freaking delusional. He probably needs to be locked up in an asylum somewhere. Somebody probably needs to wrangle him in and get a straitjacket placed on him. He concluded his narrative push, writing, quote, Superman, Son of Kal-El is doing incredibly well. Thanks for asking, unquote. Shared a screenshot of the book in first for superhero graphic novels, superhero comics and graphic novels, and first in 45-minute comics and graphic novel short reads. Mm-hmm. However, as noted, these are Amazon charts, and they don't give you a full picture of how the book is selling. Clearly, readers buying the physical books are checking out. And that was a trend dating back to November 2021, when the book's fourth issue reportedly only shipped 37,200 copies to comic shops. The first issue only reportedly shipped 68,000 in July 2021. Comic Run has not released estimates this past November, probably because they're looking pretty dumb. To conclude, if the book is selling so well as Taylor claims, all he has to do is release the numbers. But he's not doing that, and that's the real story, isn't it? In other words, he's not releasing the sales numbers, he's releasing the reader numbers. Is what it basically sounds like they're saying here. What do you make of Superman, Son of Kal-El falling out of the top 50 charts? What do you make of Taylor's delusional? That's just, dude needs to probably be locked up in an asylum somewhere for his own safety. That's what I think. So anyway, so that's all of the articles that we're going to read, but we do have some little touch ups on some wrestling news for those who might be interested in that. So in WWE news, Dolph Ziggler won the NXT Championship last night. Now, there's some speculation as to why. A lot of people were considering that Braun Breaker was going to probably sit there and continue to hold the title, but there's a couple of theories that were thrown out there today for consideration. One is Vince is pulling for Braun to be brought up to the main roster. But then, of course, you get the question being, okay, well, if that's the case, and why put the NXT belt? The NXT product is supposed to be for the young up and comers, not necessarily somebody who has an established record. So why put the belt on somebody who has an established record? There's also the possibility that Braun may win the title back at the NXT show prior to WrestleMania. That's been one. That's been another thought. That's been out there. So those I think are the two main thoughts on it. Either going to be brought up or he's going to win it back and continue his dominance. And also for tonight's 8, now I think it's already been aired. It might be airing as we speak in some parts of the country, but AEW Dynamite. So there are a couple of things going on tonight. I just saw a note that Jeff Hardy is confirmed to have signed with AEW. Apparently, he made an appearance tonight on Tonight Dynamite. So Jeff Hardy is with Dynamite now, and and Matt was already there. And then we also did see the AEW debuts of William Regal and Swerve, former WWE stars, at Revolution this past weekend. Also on tonight's Dynamite is supposed to be for the TNT Championship, a title versus streak match. As as champion Sammy Guevara puts the TNT title up against Scorpio Sky, who has not lost as of tonight over the last 364 days. So almost a full year since he last lost. He's 25-2 overall in AEW, 12-0 in that year span. So Scorpio Sky is challenging Sammy Guevara for the TNT title. So in a title versus streak match. So that's pretty much all the tidbits I got for you guys tonight. Let's see, we're at hour 48. So we pretty much went through a pretty good amount of stuff tonight. I think everybody. So we're gonna go ahead and start winding down. I got a couple of niche history bits for you guys. Just review these real quick. Okay, so with that, today is of course Wednesday. Today is Wednesday, February the 9th, 2022. Let's go ahead and take a look back this day in niche history. History. All right. So, first history tidbit we're gonna look at here. On this date, 60 years ago today, back in 1962, Zaya Nandor wins the Calgary version of the NWA Canadian Heavyweight Championship from Killer Kowalski in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Basically, this was the NWA Canadian Heavyweight Championship that was defended in the Stampede organization, the Heart organization. So on this date, 60 years ago today, Zaya Nandor wins the Calgary version of the NWA Canadian Heavyweight Championship from Killer Kowalski. So there we go with that one. And last but not least, on the history side, one more piece of history here. As on this date, 11 years ago today, 2011, the 30th issue of Elephant Man from Image Comics went on sale on this date. So on this date, 11 years ago today, 30th issue of Elephant Man from Image Comics went on sale on this date for $3.50, 32-page count. And with that, before we leave, a couple of announcements here, real quick. Don't forget this Friday, of course, Batgoat will be with me as we will be looking back at vintage comics. Our weekly historical comic retrospect. We'll be starting our November 1938 coverage. We'll be looking over primarily Action Comics Volume 1, number 7, I believe, and Detective Comics Volume 1, number 22. We'll, of course, be touching up on Zatara, Slam Bradley, and maybe with time permitting, Crimson Avenger. And I hope to see everybody back here tomorrow. So until then, bye.